different route this time. Soberslide. Good ball in that. I can think he didn't reach it. Murillo off the line. And McAllister does score this time. Deep, deep, deep into stoppage time. What do you know about this game?
Welcome to Redheads, your West Coast-based Liverpool Football Club podcast. I am your co-host, Ian Locke, joined, as always, you heard him, folks, James Morris. James, how is it going?
Ian, it's great, I guess. I refuse to wait to be introed. I gotta speak up. I hate rules, but I love winning, and somehow we're talking about a win today, and I don't know exactly what to make of this performance. I'm excited for us to get into it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Like you, I love to win. Winning is key. Winning is, we've talked about weekend ruiners a lot. I feel like these past few episodes.
Yeah.
This is a weekend opposite ruiner.
That's right. We don't even have a word for that.
A better
improver.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Especially folks, when you talk about a 6 a.m. kickoff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did watch this in our guest room with, I was feeling a little, I drank, I had a few drinks the night previously, so I was feeling a little tummy sickness. And I kind of was in and out of this game, but we'll get into it. Folks, we are talking about Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest at... What's the stadium called?
The City Ground.
City Ground? Yeah.
Yep.
That's like the FIFA, like one of those, just like...
Oh, yeah. Just like a generic, you would find it in in downtown city.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
James really alluded to this. 6 a.m. kickoff. Not a fun 6 a.m. kickoff. It seemed like Liverpool just woke up as well at 6 a.m., put on their uniforms, went onto the pitch. We'll get into it. Thank you so much. Tough game. I feel like, Nottingham Forest beat us 3-0 earlier this season at Anfield. They're kind of our bogey team. The first last year, it was like one of the fixtures that Arne Slot just would not stop talking about last season as just like kind of the thorn in his side.
Yeah, it was his muse, whatever it's sort of like a negative muse is. I guess it was his
Bemused.
Like a gadfly. Yeah, he was bemused, sure. Exactly. Yeah.
And this game was not any different.
Well, it was a little different.
It was a little different. I mean, yeah, we won. That was a great thing. Stoppage time winner, which we'll talk about. But first going in, I mean, I feel like the biggest talking point was the fact that Veers was ruled out, like in the warm-ups, like right before kickoff. So that kind of jumbled up the entire plan. And you had Dominic Szoboszlai filling in at right back, and then you had Jones kind of taking over that number 10 position, which I think you could make an argument that kind of affected the rhythm of the side. But also in saying that too, these are professional athletes who, they've all played together. So it's kind of, I feel like it's an easy thing to say that was what kind of led to this kind of first half awful performance. But do you think that affected the team that much?
I mean, it definitely affected the team. There's no way to say otherwise. But I certainly hope it's not the only reason why the team was affected so much, because, look, we're going to play, even if, let's say Wirtz is here for another 5 years, which I hope so. He's not playing every game. I mean,
sure.
So he won't get benched 5 minutes before kickoff too many more times, but the only switch was Wirtz for Jones.
Yeah.
We should be able to handle that.
Yeah. I mean, I think realistically, it would have been nice for Jones to be in the right back position with Szoboszlai being in that 10, just as someone to kind of like thread that needle from midfield to your forwards. But Dominic Szoboszlai is also our, best right back, and also has provided the most, goal creation being in that right back position as well, too. And Jones is like, he's a valuable midfielder. He can do a job there, but it just did not seem like that link up was there from the get-go. And I would say, like, not even. I mean, the Beards thing was annoying, but I would say the even more annoying thing was just the fact that we had like a week off before this game, like a
Yeah.
lot of preparation. And I believe that Nottingham Forest went to Turkey to play their Europa League game, I think on Thursday.
Yeah.
So they flew to Turkey, they flew back, and they looked way more energized. Again, in that first half, they looked like easily the best team. They wiped us off the park. And that was just a frustrating thing to see, just knowing that there was so much prep time involved. I'm assuming for this game. I don't know if there was actual, like, integral training or if they gave the players like, a few days off, but it looked like they had, it looked like, those moments when Klopp was in charge, when they would go to like Saudi Arabia and they would come back tan, but also like they filled their shoes
tan
with
but
blood.
relaxed. Yeah. I think I heard, well, I definitely heard that they got a day or two off through the grapevine, right, all the way across the pond, that they got a couple of days off after last weekend's game beating Brighton.
Right.
So you're right to say that, like, they got a little bit of a break, but you're even more right to say Forest, they would have gotten home, Friday at 6 a.m. if they didn't stay overnight in Turkey,
Right.
Following the Thursday night game. So preparation has absolutely nothing to do with it. Or I guess the other takeaway is I hope you enjoyed your day off, because it's the last one you're ever going to get. Any Liverpool player.
I feel like now after, we'll go into the future fixtures, but like the run-in has now begun in terms of a quest for a Champions League spot. But I mean, in terms of lineup, it was pretty much as you were. You have Ekitike, Gakpo, Jones, Salah, kind of as your like trio of four attacking players. You had McAllister and Gravenberch as kind of your double pivot. Kirkes is back and left back. Van Dijk, Konate, Shabazz again as right back, and Allison. So it's like, it's your starting 11 for the most part, bearing one player. And that's why, like, just having, like you said, like these players, this team is going to play without Wirtz. We played without Wirtz last season. Like, he's not like the skeleton key that unlocks this team, which is just,
Right. And at the beginning of the season, we were saying, well, maybe not the two of us, but people in general were saying that Wirtz was part of the problem for the slow start. He wasn't up to speed. Point being, we've been playing, we can handle it, you would think.
Yeah, but that first half we did not.
We didn't handle it. Yeah. No, I want to give us credit too. We last week, following Brighton, we talked about how that should be the last time, or we should have already seen the last time Szoboszlai starts at right back. He's just so much more effective as a midfielder. And then about half an hour into this game, Slot switches Szoboszlai and Jones. Jones goes to right back. Szoboszlai comes into the middle, and immediately things start to click so much, more smoothly. And it leads to the Jones chance early in the second half too.
I was going to say, definitely the second half was an improvement, which was nice to see. But I mean, that first half, I mean, in the second minute, Jones gets robbed in the midfield. Again, like this is a criticism he gets a lot, where he kind of like dilly-dallies on the ball.
He chews it.
And, he stands on the ball. It's like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. There's 3 Nottingham Forest players around him. He gets the ball taken away from him. They feed the ball up top to Hudson-Odoi, and then Allison has to make a save. It was a great pass. And it's like the second minute of the game. And we're like already, like every time a Liverpool player had the ball, there was like two Forest players that were ready to press them. I mean, we weren't doing ourselves any favors either. I mean, I haven't looked at our passing statistics, but like the amount of passes that we did not
atrocious.
Complete, yeah. If I had a nickel for every uncompleted pass, I'd take it.
You'd have a couple dollars.
Yeah, at least.
Bazooka.
Bazookas for everyone.
Bazooka bubblegum.
But I mean, like, Force had 12 shots. They had the majority of the possession. I will say, like, even though they did have, the majority of the possession and the shots, none of the shots, I mean, only 2 of their 12 were on target. So they weren't really doing much with the ball, but it was just infuriating that we kept giving them chance after chance, which kind of seems like just a repeat of every single Liverpool game I feel like I've seen. Again, also at like 6 a.m. where they're just like not up for it,
Yeah.
and you're kind of not quite sure like, well, what do you, like what do they need to get their tails up? But you know, it wasn't good. You know?
What's going to make them start playing the game when they blow the whistle, at the start of the game? I don't feel like we've really seen a good performance from the gate maybe besides the Champions League. We played pretty well against Marseille, but in the league, we seem to start games maybe around half an hour. Sometimes it's the second half, but it's never from the opening whistle. But I think you're right to point out Forest were all over us, and they had that very dangerous shot right like 2.5 minutes, like you said, Hudson-Odoi, I think it was.
Yeah.
But then they took another 8 shots, I think you were just saying, and really they weren't that dangerous. They had all the possession, but it was a great performance from Van Dijk and Konate.
I was going to say, I mean, credit, honestly, like, even though we could not complete a pass or save our lives, we were getting in between Forest and the goal in terms of just like blocking shots.
Yeah.
I thought Konate again had a great game, and he's been like truly probably besides Sabazai our best player since he's come back.
Since that penalty he gave away against Leeds. He's great.
He's been fantastic. So
just in time for us to be heartbroken when he leaves this summer.
Yeah, exactly. Showing us what we'll miss. But yeah, like Gravenberch and McAllister, like again, like they were just unable to pick out any players. It's hard to talk about like Mo and Gakpo because they didn't really do anything this game. But I thought defensively as a unit, even though we weren't really doing anything on the attacking front, defensively we were really able to keep our shape, and that I think that has to be a positive in the sense that when we play badly, but you can still be compact and keep your shape and not allow any of these shots in.
Yeah, they took a few corners. Looks like they took 3 corners. They took a few long throws as well, and the set piece danger was just not there. I guess what I mean is we defended them. I don't even want to say great, just competently. Like it's that simple. Not making the mistakes.
Right, and I feel like we've been in these situations too. Like you think about that Leeds game, where we give up the penalty, and then we give up the goal in stoppage time, and it just seems like whenever we shoot ourselves in the foot, the floodgates kind of open, and you were kind of expecting that for this game too. But I think there's been kind of a sea change after that. I mean, like the City game was another thing where it was just like
Bournemouth too.
Yeah, but it kind of seems like
it's more better than worse, right?
Yeah. I thought I only had one example, and there was 4 more to go off of, which is not nice. But
it's been a long season.
Yeah, but there seems to be a competency again in the defensive unit, which I'm like, again, that's a positive you have to take from these games that have almost no positivity to come away from.
Right. I mean, this is one of those games that you want to in another season, you write off a game where you play badly away from home and you just, nick a late winner and you love it. But this season, it's been happening so much that there's just nothing to give you confidence that the next game isn't going to be just as bad as this one.
Yeah, and it's different too, because now it feels like this season we've kind of been on the end of a bunch of bad luck, where I feel like last year and the 2019-20 season, we ground out a lot of 1-0 victories, and I
2-1, a lot of 2-1s.
Yeah, like people tend to forget that.
Not us.
But not, yeah, exactly. And I feel like this season now we're kind of just on the wrong end of those. But again, like sometimes you just have to kind of like sit back, absorb, and then take your chances when you do. And we did this game, and that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that second half that had a few decent chances. The first one was, go ahead.
No, go, please.
Okay, I will go. That's exactly what I was going to do. Starts with my favorite player, yours too, Cody Gakpo.
Easily.
He makes his signature cut in from the left. He can't beat his man, which is just neither of our wingers can do that this season. But he plays a great sort of cross-field back post cross to Mo.
When he did that initially, I was like, stop. Like, I think Shabazz was like open. Someone was open in the middle of the park, and he goes for that back post cross, which I thought was just going to go out before I saw.
I thought he
there.
overhit it too. It seemed like he skied it.
I was so bummed, but yeah, continue. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's it. And then Mo, so it's really our two worst players in the day. I'm not sure if that's true because McAllister, ironically, who scores the winner, was pretty tough to watch.
Yeah.
But our two worst players in the day, Cody Gakpo, left winger, crosses to Mohamed Salah, right winger. And he heads it just back across. And, Jones is unlucky not to score there. It was a great save, but he's shooting from 3 yards out. It's the kind of thing where if you take that shot 10 times, 6 go in.
You also have a player and the goalkeeper, obviously the goalkeeper, but he's getting pressed as he's about to take the shot. So
takes it first time, does well.
Right. But yeah, that was, like you said, that was after he went into the right back position. So he swapped with Szoboszlai, and already you see kind of, why Dominic should be in the midfield, and we should stop playing a right back, even though we don't have any right backs anyway.
Well, we do see one at the end of this game. But yeah, I do want to talk about that a little bit too. Jones scored from right back against Brighton. That was across from Kirkes, but in both cases, it was like crashing the back post late, late back post run. And when he was scoring, when Jones was scoring goals in, the 23-24 season, even the 22-23 season, he had that knack of just making that third man run and arriving late at the back post from the midfield. But it hasn't been happening. He hadn't scored all year until he scored against Brighton this season. And I don't think he scored at all last season either. But the point is now he's playing right back and suddenly those runs are returning. And I'm not sure what to make of it. I think it's great.
I mean, it could be, there's now space. Like we've said this before, where even though Salah probably is definitely not up to the standard that we know him to be, he still pulls players to him. He has that gravitational pull. So there's more space on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's a great point because he's normally next to Gakpo, right? Curtis, that is.
But yeah, I mean, I would say the second half, marked improvement. I mean, it couldn't get any worse. I mean, it was this game, the Crystal Palace game, those were probably some of the worst first halves I've ever seen. And I was surprised that we went into the break 0-0. But, once we started taking our chances, like I said, Nottingham Forest had a lot of the ball, but they didn't really offer that much. So it seemed like, as long as we're resolute defensively and we can string a couple passes together, we can actually do something in this game.
I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds so easy, doesn't it?
I know.
I'm not sure why we can't, but then we do. I don't know. Are you ready to talk about the first late winner?
Well, so my question, because you didn't watch this live, right?
No, I watched. I watched the whole thing, but I didn't watch it live.
So I want to ask about kind of just when you watch a game.
Yeah.
After the fact it happened, did the game already finish when you started watching it?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened?
No, okay. What I know, I'm not going to wake up for the 6 a.m. kickoff, for example. Right. I do a cheeky do not disturb on my phone. And then when I wake up, I just go straight to the web.
That leads me to the first non-goal. When that, oh man, okay. Because I turned off my TV after that got disallowed.
Well, actually, there's something we need to mention beforehand, right? Which happens around 75. It's 0-0, 75th minute, and both Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah come off the pitch. I thought that was a pretty drastic, but also bold substitution that Slot made.
I mean,
it's your highest paid attacker, right?
Like you said, two players that truly offered nothing for the majority of this game. I mean, Gakpo had that chance. I couldn't tell you of a Salah moment, but they both offered nothing. And what you're alluding to is Rio and Gamoa comes on, and Chiesa comes on, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And Chiesa is a player who has been given very limited opportunities.
He does his damnedest,
But when he does get his moments, it's kind of hard to see how he offers little reason to get a starting spot on this team. I'll just say that. But with Rio, he's energetic, he's young, he has like a point to prove,
Somebody taught
and
him stepovers, and he did not forget.
exactly, this is bread and butter. And he comes on and he provides the assist before the assist, the pass before the pass. He provides that cross that led to the disallowed McAllister goal, but he provides these moments. He provides a spark that this team needs. And we already have like little to no options off the bench, but he is definitely a player that I think, we have the FA Cup game against Wolves coming up. He'll definitely get a start there. But you could see him in these games that we have coming up where we need a player to kind of, light a fire in this team. He could be that player.
Yeah, he's exciting, and he can do what wingers are meant to do, which is beat a man. It was interesting that he played on the right. I don't think we've seen him on the right before.
Right.
And so instead of cutting in to take a shot on his stronger right foot, he instead gets to the byline and, plays that looping cross that Ekitike does well, honestly. It's a
really good save.
Yeah, it's a good save. You want to be mad that he doesn't score because he's heading it from, again, 3 yards out, but you also can't really blame him.
Right. It's one of those things where it's because he's already so bad at heading the ball.
Right.
Ekitike. Right. So you just assume it's his fault. But when you look back, it's not at him. Initially, I thought that he headed the ball straight at the goalkeeper. It's to the goalkeeper's right, and he basically reflex puts out his hand to block it.
Yeah.
So a great cross from Rio to Ekitike, puts the header in, saves. What is it? Ola?
I think it's Ola Aina.
Aina, yeah.
Yeah.
Their right back, I think.
Who I thought was a decent player, but he had a brutal stoppage time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Probably his worst 3 minutes of his career.
Yeah.
He tries to boot the ball out, and McAllister just, runs to him, turns his back, hits on his back, ricochets in the goal, and you're like, of course, that's amazing.
I was celebrating.
I was celebrating. I was very excited.
This is since VAR introduction, especially in the COVID times, a lot of the time I have a hard time celebrating a goal because I just think it's going to get chalked off. But this case, there was just there was no hint of offsides. There wasn't a foul in the build-up, so I really let loose and was then crushed.
Yeah, VAR is just for nerds, it's just for people who don't like the sport, don't like the joy of just celebration.
We watch for goals. We watch. Yeah. The reason why we watch is to see goals going. It's the best part. And so you have VAR ruin goals. What do we do?
Right. So the on-field call is a goal. VAR looks at it, checks. They check every goal. They check this goal and they find out that it basically hit the back of McAllister's arm.
Yeah.
The back of his arm. He's
which was
turning his body
against his. It was tucked in.
Right. I would say he has no idea it's going to hit his arm. They rule it out, or they ruled a non-goal due to that. And it's such a shame. It's 88th minute. You think you've won it. These points are precious. We need to win this game.
And I mean, that's the rule. It's annoying, but if it touches somebody's arm, and it goes in, then it's getting ruled out. It doesn't matter where your arm is.
Yeah.
Do you remember that there was a shot last year that deflected in off of Kai Havertz's chest? He does one of these.
Yes.
Yeah. It was basically the exact same thing. His arms are both at his side, and he sort of chested the ball in, but they ruled it out, which I loved. So, you take the rough with the smooth on this one. Especially when the rough is only for 30 seconds.
Right. So I already mentioned a big positive of this game was defensively we were solid. I said that before.
Yeah, you said it.
I think another big positive is the fact that that's such a deflating moment, but we didn't just, stop.
It wasn't curtains right then.
And, due to the fact that, because that was the 88th minute, I'm sure that VAR took 3 minutes to
It took a few minutes for sure, because I don't think they restarted play again until the 92nd.
Right. So that added on, and James, I think we have a weapon in terms of Joe Gomez and his throws. little throw-ins.
I mean, I think you're right. He does take a pretty mean throw in, but the game winning throw in, he throws like 11 feet.
I know,
Yeah.
exactly. Because he throws it to Shabazlai. So it's the 96th minute. The game is going to be over after
Right.
this play.
After having added 5, board goes up
Right.
5 minutes. Yeah.
So
I was nervous.
then,
I'm not sure. Were you thinking that? So I thought that Szoboszlai wasn't going to be allowed to get that cross in, that they were going to blow the whistle.
yeah, it's always interesting too, especially when a team is, because it always depends. Like if a team is in possession of the ball and they're attacking, I don't think they blow the whistle immediately. But if I don't know how a ref like kind of figures like when to blow or not, depending on who is in possession of the ball.
Yeah, they do tend to play it out if it's sort of an attacking phase. That's true.
Right.
But it was hard mouth time for me. I thought that they were going to blow before he even played it in.
Especially when you think of how long Szoboszlai was just on the ball for, like he really was like biding his time to put this cross in.
Yeah, I think he does, that crochet cutback on his left and his right 2 or 3 times.
He shimmies the player out to his left, cuts in on his right, puts the ball on his right side. And then it's another header from, I think was it Chiesa?
No, it was Van Dijk.
Was it Van Dijk? Okay, so puts the ball in, Van Dijk heads it, keeper blocks it.
Again, great save. Van Dijk does really well there.
Great save, because it was going to, it could have gone in.
It was going in.
And ball's loose, McAllister's there, puts it in, goal. And you're just like, amazing. And then it's not until they show the other angle where it looks like Van Dijk is offside that you're like, oh, like why do I even bother? Again, it's like you kind of like rethink your like life decisions. And you're like, I woke up at 6 for this again? Like this? Come on.
Sun's barely up.
Sun's not out yet.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. So the first goal I really let loose. So the second goal I hardly celebrated. I knew that they were going to find something. And then, the angle they show for the offsides, you can't even see. It's Aina again. I don't know if you know it's Aina.
But very funny.
He's completely in Van Dijk's shadow. And he's not a small guy.
Van Dijk is like too big.
Right. Van Dijk's
so
just a real colossus. But then I noticed that he's behind them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think you saw the VAR still, I imagine. They show you that like video game rendering of the two players.
It's basically like his big toe is keeping him onside.
Well, right. But my thought is, I think that they have guessed where Aina is because you can't see his foot.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like just inconclusive.
Well, that's that's exactly right. I think that they can't say, there's no way they could rule it out because you can't see him.
Because he calls it a goal on field, so I think they just have to revert to the on field decision,
right? Which is not how they present it. They present it like, oh no, he was onside, but I think that they just can't tell. Yeah, that's my conspiracy theory.
What was the conspiracy? That they just didn't know.
That they didn't know, but they just made up a frame and said that he's onside. You can't see his leg.
They photoshopped the body a little bit more to the right.
Well, right, because I don't think the alternative, which is to say, hey, we can't tell, goal, or we can't tell, so no goal. Like in either case, it's just going to be a major controversy.
Right.
So they swept it under the rug.
Yeah, I mean, look, this game was not that impressive in terms of like
it was awful
performance, which is why we're only 30 minutes in, and I think we wrapped this one up. We did not talk about on the disallowed goal the Konate cartwheel. I don't know if you caught that on the bottom of your screen.
I did see. Yes,
that was. So I'm gonna attribute that to the second goal.
Big man is pretty lithe. I can't do a cartwheel.
I can't. No, of course, yeah, no way. I mean, they stretch every day, so like their bodies can do wonders. But
I think it's a little harder than just stretching. But
you think so?
I don't stretch every day, so I guess I can't say.
They also have upper body strength too. So
see, that's the thing. I definitely don't have that. Sitting at my desk here, not lifting heavy things.
Right. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but we're not.
Let's not get into it.
James McAllister, match winner.
He was horrible for 90 minutes.
Really, really bad.
And yet he's the one with the nous, they like to say, the guile. to be Johnny on the spot twice in 5 minutes. He scores off of Ekitike's header, then he scores again off of Van Dijk's header. Plus, he finishes. There were still 3 guys on the line. He could have easily hit that into somebody.
Yeah, I think this is the thing with McAllister is that like he is also always that midfielder that's in and around the box. Always.
Yep.
He has the ability. We saw it against Real Madrid. He has the ability to pop up, score a header. I can't believe this is his first Premier League goal of the season.
It doesn't feel right, but I guess he's only ever scored in the Champions League this season.
Right.
Yeah. And I think he's only got 3 goals total. It feels like he's been better.
This is 4th. Yeah.
This is 4th. Okay, great.
Yeah. His first goal since April of 2025. So it's a pretty
league
pretty
goal,
extensive drought. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's just, I'm happy it was him because he's been having a pretty bad season in comparison, I think.
Right. I think that if you want to call it up and down, you're being generous. It's been a down.
Right.
It's down.
But I was happy for him. That was amazing.
I was happy for me. Those 3 points were desperately needed.
Rio and Gamoa, what do you think about him? I mean, we talked about him a little bit. In terms of I
think he's very exciting. Are you asking if he's going to start against West Ham? Because that is, I think, a harder question to answer.
I mean, we already know that he won't because Slot just has just no love affair with Gakpo. He's just not gonna. His
goal contribution came from the right. He could start over Mo.
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, I definitely think the FA Cup game is he will start that depending on the left or right.
I think that's a lock. But I disagree, or I agree with you. I don't think he'll start on Saturday against West Ham, but I think he'll get, well, who knows what the game state will be because, God forbid we're 2 goals up in the 75th minute, but I expect that he will get a decent chunk of time.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of solid too, I think this is his longest goal drought.
He's up to 9 in the league.
Up to 9?
Yeah, and you're right.
Which is pretty, disappointing. I think since he's come back from AFCON, he's contributed, what did I say?
No, that was me.
You farted?
Something like that.
Okay.
Not sure the mic picked it up.
Oh boy. I didn't see anything move.
Yummy.
Except anyway. Since he came back from AFCON, I thought he's done okay.
I thought that he seemed to be on the up, actually. I thought that his performances were getting better. And then, of course, he wins the pen against Brighton.
Right.
And, you're starting to think that's the mode that we're waiting for, really. And then he was, completely anonymous at best against Forest.
Yeah, I mean, only had 1 chance. He gets subbed off, and he's very,
he's just a bit of a diva. He is.
Yeah, he's sarcastically smiling, and it's just okay, well, you didn't do anything, and
and then he showed up.
I was gonna say it was kind of nice to see Ngamoa put it in, a couple of moments to just be yeah, dude, this is, your place is.
This is what we're looking for. Yeah,
right.
It is sad. I won't ever enjoy talking down on Mo. It's been a wonderful decade, but I do think that whether or not he starts on Saturday, which I expect that he will, he is going to have a significant thing to say in this run-in. Making sure that we win a round of 16 tie in the Champions League. That maybe it's lifting the FA Cup, maybe it's just to get 4. But I think Mo will have a significant contribution between now and the end of the season. Or at the very least, he'll have the opportunity to make one, and so hopefully he takes that chance.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this before, where you're you can't count him out because he'll just prove you wrong. But
that's right.
It's been 9 games where
counting where he's been out.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, in terms of the way the league table is, I was thinking about this, and I kind of forgot that Aston Villa is in the Europa League. Is that right?
Yeah.
And if they win that means that 6th place is also up for grabs in terms of a Champions League spot.
That's true. But serendipity might happen that way, but that's
absolutely
not my thought.
I just thought, I'm okay, well, there's another reason to I normally don't like to root for English teams in these European competitions, but I might be clad in claret and blue come the Europa League
Come
final.
June.
Come June, yeah, whenever it is. Anyway.
Yeah, it would be interesting too if Villa. So I don't think Villa look like they're going to have a really great last 10 games of the season, and I'm curious what happens if they finish 6th and they win the Europa League. Does that mean that Brentford in 7th gets Champions League football?
Yeah, that'd be funny. I mean, Brentford are 5 points behind us. Aston Villa is very interesting because they play Chelsea and United back to back. They have a big say in terms of kind of, or I mean, all three of these teams have a big say on who's gonna
right, we all play each
participate in
other.
the Champions League. Yeah, because we play them on the second to last day. They play City on the last day of the season. This is very, very, very juicy. But in terms of table and how it looks,
let's talk fixtures.
We already said Aston Villa. They're in third on 51. United, who beat Everton in a total dog shit game.
It was dour.
It was so bad. They beat them with a late Sesko goal, which was very annoying. So they're on 48 points. Chelsea are right behind them in 5th on 45. And we are tied with Chelsea in 6th on 45 points. So, and like I said, Brentford also in 7th on 40. So we'll see. I mean, I think Aston Villa have a pretty good chance of being dragged down into this mire. I mean, Arsenal and City are pretty locked up. I think first and second are locked up. So in terms of fixtures, so like I said, Aston Villa, their next 5 are Wolves away, which that might be a give me points.
Yeah,
but
give me those points.
Give me them points. But then they play Chelsea at home, United away, and they play West Ham at home. And West Ham have kind of been kind of an annoying team to play, even though they are floating around. I know,
knock on wood,
the relegation
with
zone.
our upcoming fixture with them.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So these are like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like I said, they're in a sore spot in terms of they really need to get their shit together if they want to.
Yeah, a lot's going to change in March. By the end of March, the table is going to be really shaping up to what it's going to be. I mean, I guess that sort of goes without saying, considering that means there's only 2 months left of the season. But just the fact that Villa play Chelsea and United, so just everyone in this top 4, well, everyone in 3rd to 6th is playing each other over in March, and it's exciting. I mean, I think, and these, you'll take a draw in any one of these fixtures: Aston Villa, Chelsea.
We want,
Villa,
draw
United.
Points is like, the name of the game.
That's right. And if we can sneak something in, like, maybe West Ham gets a cheeky draw. I mean, Chelsea have drawn with, in the last 2 league fixtures, they drew with Burnley, with Leeds, and they almost drew with West Ham too. It was a 2-0 lead that West Ham threw away. So yeah, maybe West Ham will come up with something against Villa, against United. We'll see.
I would say, like, we'll get to it, but I feel like Liverpool definitely have the easier run of the kind of the top 4 chasing teams, and I think this is the time to lock in and realize that you are playing for for
a dream
potential. Yeah, exactly. Like, the Champions League is like,
it's pathetic. It's pathetic if we're not in it.
It is, and like, you've already seen United be out of it for so long, and it's just not something. I don't. It's pathetic. But in terms of United, their next fixtures, they're playing Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle away. They're playing Aston Villa and Bournemouth, and then they finish that up with Leeds, and then actually the next game is away to Chelsea. So I would say Aston Villa game is obviously juicy. Crystal Palace,
they've really fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they look like a shadow of their former selves. And the Newcastle game, though, I'm very interested.
Yeah,
I think Newcastle can do some damage. I just need to see United just kind of. I need to see them wobble. We thought that West Ham game was going to be the one where, okay, here we go, here comes the collapse, but that wasn't the case. So I need to see them drop some points. That would be precious to me. Chelsea are playing Arsenal, James. That was their game on Sunday, which I am very, very excited to see.
Big weekend coming up. And you know what's funny? I have to ask. It sounds, I know you pretty well.
Yeah.
And I don't think you would be that unhappy if Chelsea won that game.
No, I wouldn't. Like I said this on the last episode. I really need to like relax and get over the fact that Arsenal will just win the league this season, and I just need to make my peace with that.
You never know.
I would take a cheeky draw.
I'll take a draw all day.
I would take a
Sunday.
last minute. I would take a last minute.
Gabriel corner. Some boring bullshit.
Cole Palmer, just like a 97th.
Cold Palmer.
I see what you're doing over there. But yeah, so they're playing Arsenal, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Everton, City. These are, I think Chelsea might have the worst fixture.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Like they are, I mean, like, I think it's nailed on. They drop at least, 6 points? I think they have to lose at least 2 of these games.
Well, if you say they lose to Arsenal, which let's just for argument's sake say that now, I think you easily say that they only win one of Villa, Newcastle, and Everton. So that would be 4 or 5 points from the next 4 games, which I'll take all day. That means we're in 5th.
Right.
Well, I guess knock on wood, because we have to get 6 points from that same run. But
right, but
like you're saying, our run of fixtures, it's fallen kindly.
It's fallen kindly. We play West Ham at home. Again, West Ham are in the relegation spot. That hasn't stopped us from failing to beat any of the, recently promoted teams. But look, I'm sorry, but West Ham are garbage, and we need to treat them as such. And then we play Wolves. We play Wolves twice. We play them in the FA Cup, but again, we're away at the Molineux, but we have to win that game. We're playing Tottenham. I mean, that might be the hardest game, but Tottenham are a train wreck. They're gonna. This will be a very interesting game because they have to come out swinging, Tottenham, because they are 4 points above the relegation zone.
Yeah, they absolutely could go down.
And you saw them where they were so open against Arsenal. Arsenal just stood on their throat.
They've picked up 2 points in their last 5 games. Tottenham have. Yeah. So that's the kind of form that gets you relegated. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah, I cannot believe City blew that game.
They just got what's that guy's name? Igor Jesus? Is that the coach?
Tudor.
Igor Tudor. Yeah. And we got a big influx of Igors this season, which is exciting. I think that what's the striker's name for Brentford?
Igor Jesus, right? Or is that Nottingham Forest?
That's Forest.
The Brentford.
It doesn't matter. I think it's Igor something else.
Someone's been reading Frankenstein. The Premier League.
Guilty. Anyway.
Thiago? Are you thinking of
Is his name Igor Thiago?
No, his name is just... Oh, it is Igor Thiago.
Yeah, there you go.
What is going on? Igor.
It's a big year for a Slav.
Yeah.
Which I think none of these people are. I think they're all Portuguese.
Yeah. They do not look Eastern European. But after that Tottenham game, we play Brighton and then Fulham. Fulham will actually probably be our hardest game of the bunch because Fulham are just they're annoying.
We make those games hard. It's so frustrating watching us play against Fulham. We conspire to lose points. I mean, that was what was his name? Harrison Reed scoring his first goal, I think, this millennium.
He'll never score again.
No. Well, he might score against us, but that would be the last time. Yeah, so I think... So do you want to go through these? What are you thinking? I mean, West Ham, Wolves, Spurs, Brighton, Fulham. You think Fulham is the one that we're most likely to drop in?
Fulham is the banana peel, I think, of these. I mean, Brighton... Brighton, I don't think they're
we tend to like playing against Brighton.
Yeah, and again, because they're a team that we favor just because they're pretty open. They like to play.
Yeah.
But that West Ham game has potential to be. I mean, honestly, all these games do because we're just so inconsistent.
Yeah, I
think
mean, we
it's the
just played
truth of the
Forest.
matter.
They're in 17th. They
Yeah.
absolutely tonked us up and down the pitch. So
That's a good point.
there's
Like,
no reason to think any of these will be easy.
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm saying this, I feel like I have to retract everything I just said. I think each game has
Right.
potential. To be
You're
even if you
speaking
win.
about Liverpool from the last 5 years and not
Right.
this one. Yeah.
Right,
And
exactly.
and I can forgive that. I totally get where that's coming from. But I'm a little nervous about something is nudging me about the fact that we play Wolves twice away
Yeah.
in 3 days. It's just the kind of thing that it's tough. Like Wolves are bad, but it's tough to beat the same team so close in back-to-back matches, especially when they're both away.
Right. I'm happy that FA Cup game is second. That is like the, if we lose that game, fine. Like we need to win that league game. That is the priority, and the fact that we play that first, I think, could be beneficial.
I think that's right too. And then so you can make rotations changes for the FA Cup game, and then that Tuesday or I guess Wednesday will be the first leg of our Champions League game.
Right.
I think that's right.
I actually don't know. I just said right because
Yeah.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah, we should be playing. We'll find out on Friday. Atletico or Galatasaray.
Oof.
I mean, Galatasaray beat us earlier this season, but
I know.
I'm crossing fingers and toes, hoping we're going to Turkey.
Oh, really?
You want Atleti?
I mean, both suck.
Both suck. Both suck. But I'd much rather
every time I think of Atletico, I think of the 2019-20 Champions League season.
Right.
And
right.
I think of
what was his name? Adrian?
Yep.
Adrian? Yep.
Yeah.
I knew it. I was being coy.
Adrian. Anyway, yeah, so those are our fixtures. We have to win these games, James. We must win. We must win. We must win. And you brought up the Champions League. So the playoffs have finished. Did you watch these games? These were actually a little tasty. These were pretty fun games to watch.
I only watched the Inter Bodo Glimt game.
Right.
Which was a good game. It was a Inter wasting chance after chance for about an hour. Yeah. And then just like they did in Norway, they were scoring, like a turnover, quick counter, boom, Bodo's ahead, Inter's out.
I mean, just focusing on who could be our opponents. I mean, Atletico Madrid played Club Brugge, and they beat them on a 7-4 aggregate. The first leg of that match was 3-3. They looked very good, Club Brugge. Atletico kind of looked a little all over the place. And then they beat them 4-1 at home. And this Sorloth, James, Alexander Sorloth, he's been their main guy. He scares me.
He's tall.
He's a tall man. And he could cause us some issues. It's an Atletico Madrid team, so they like to put a tackle in. They like to press and harry you. So
they like to cry. They
like to cry. I
think that it's a great sign that they conceded 4. The Atletico teams that I really dreaded playing are the ones that every fixture was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1. Yeah. So the fact that this ends up 7-4, I think is it's a sign that they're not the Simeone of 2013, whenever it was that they last won the La Liga. So
right.
Yeah, I think that if we get them, look, I'll be confident. If still excited, and if we get Galatasaray, I'll be confident too.
I mean, yeah, they've been like pretty inconsistent this season too. I mean, they're like hanging on to 4th place. But
sounds familiar.
Exactly. I mean, if only we could be in 4th place. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. And then Galatasaray, James, this was an amazing tie. They played Juventus, beat them 7-5 on aggregate, James. That first leg, they beat them 5-2 in Turkey. Amazing. And then Juventus, in the second leg of this fixture, score 3 unanswered goals. It's tied on aggregate, goes to extra time. And then you have Osimhen and Yilmaz scoring in stoppage time, in extra time, to bury the fixture. And it was an amazing game.
I had no idea that it went down this way. So I guess I just missed it, I'll be honest. So I'm looking now. Early red card in the 48th minute, and
apparently
still
not. It was like a second yellow.
was it second yellow?
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then the fact that they still scored the next 2 goals unanswered to win 3-0, or to tie the tie 5-5, pretty incredible. And then of course, you're down 10 men for an hour, and you concede an extra time. What are you going to do? But I wish I had turned this one on.
I don't know if this, them playing an extra time will do Liverpool, if we get them, will do Liverpool any favors. I don't know if that'll even be a factor in this. But yeah, like you said, we already lost it to Galatasaray on a penalty, dubious penalty.
Yep, soft.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll get who we get. The thought of going to play at that stadium scares me. I think is the Anfield leg at home, or
we're away first leg.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, like you said, we'll find out Friday, and this Champions League is heating up, baby.
I'm so glad it's back. There's that odd winter lull between Christmas and now. And it's wrapping up. Spring's sprung.
Mm-hmm.
It is sunny here in Southern California. You forgot to ask me about weather, and Liverpool have won 3 on the bounce.
They have won 3 on the bounce. I was going to ask you about the weather. I just didn't know whether I should or not.
Look, you make your own rules. I've always told you that.
That's true. And since you asked, it was actually a pretty beautiful day.
Didn't ask.
Pretty beautiful day up here in sunny Seattle.
Sunny Seattle, California. Look, I am really pumped for these next 5 fixtures. Ours, Chelsea's, Villa's, Manu's a little less. A little frustrated that Michael Carrick, of all people, is just suddenly a good coach. But
caretaker. Come on.
I'm saying that again at the end of March we're in a Champions League spot.
Ooh, I love it. I mean, the potential is there, James. We can end this season on a high. Just put to bed. Put these games to bed.
Put to bed.
And who else wants to be put to bed?
I think it's you, my friend.
I do.
You want a little tuck?
Put to it. But before we do that, James, we have people asking day and night, where can I listen? Where
Phone
can I rate and
ringing
review?
off the hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
This do not disturb button has really been helpful. But I need some answers, James. Where can I direct these folks?
Well, before we tuck ourselves into bed, but while you are laying in bed listening to this episode, something you can do is go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, go to any podcatcher, a phrase I continue to find irritating, but that I keep repeating.
It's like dog catcher?
Follow us, subscribe to us, smash that like button. I don't know if there's a like button in those, but smash something. Smash your phone. Yeah. Leave us a comment. Leave us 5 stars. We'll love it. You'll love it. Everyone's going to be impressed with your taste. How did you find this sweet, sweet niche indie podcast about this little red team all the way in Liverpool? And you'll tell them, hey, I don't know where I found it, because the other place you could go is YouTube. And we post the episodes every week. We're making shorts. People are loving them. We're getting upwards of double digits when it comes to likes. The comments are scintillating. Yeah, and we would love for you to add to them.
They're great conversation starters over there in the comments.
That's right. Right. So check us out. YouTube, Spotify, podcast, the internet. We're also on Instagram. We're posting. We're making memes now and then.
Yeah.
So really anything you want to do.
Yeah. Engage with the content, You got to engage with it.
Yeah. You could be our dads that way, Our moms and our girlfriends and our wives. That sounded worse than I intended it to, but some of us have wives and some of us have girlfriends. That's the way life goes.
That's the way life goes, as James says. And for that, folks, I leave you with this.
Peace.
Peace.
Redheads.
Redheads. Redheads.
So sick. So sick.
Redheads.